I want to talk to the woman who is trusting God for for a promise to be fulfilled, or perhaps they've received the promise and it's not quite feeling like, wait, hold on, God, I know you've said this. I've seen the confirmations. I'm hearing your voice, but it's not quite feeling like how you expected it to feel. Or perhaps you've got situations that are staring you, or circumstances that are staring you so like hard in the face that you have this feeling that perhaps the promise is not achievable, it's not attainable. This message is for you. So this story has really resonated with me. It's in 2 Kings chapter 4, and it talks about the Shunammite woman who the Bible describes as a well-to-do woman. She's wealthy. She lives with her husband, and the beginning of the story just sets out the picture that she's a wealthy woman, and she comes across Elisha, who happens to be passing through the town, and she offers him meals. And at some point she says, look, this guy can't be going back and forth, at least let him have a place to stay. So she had a chat with her husband, and the husband was just like, cool, fine. So when Elisha comes, she urges him to have a meal, and you know what, there's a place for you, there's room for you in our house for you to stay. And she does that, and Elisha, who is taken aback by her act of service, was able to say, like, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? And she was like, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm fine. And it was the servant of Elisha that said, this woman hasn't got a child, and her husband is old. And straight away Elisha was just like, by this time next year, I like those kind of prophecies, by this time next year, you will be holding your son. And so it was at that time, around that time the following year, she was holding her son. But unfortunately, her son later passed. And here we see a woman who was so determined and focused to get to the place where Jesus was, and she was able to meet Elisha, and Elisha eventually was able to heal her son and restore him back to life. And there's several points that I think we can gauge from this message, so I'm going to go right ahead and let's get started. I think it's important that we look at what trust means. What does it mean to trust God? And when I looked up the word trust, it means to lean on, have confidence in. And it's so interesting that the Bible also encourages us to trust in the Lord and not lean on our own understanding. That, when Elisha was asking her, what is it that, you want me to do for you? What is it that I can do? And this would have been her opportunity to be like, bruh, if I tell you what's really going on right now. But she was just like, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm well, I'm amongst my people. He was like, there's something for you to do. And it was the servant that spilt the tea and was like, this woman is married to an old man and she has no child. And when I read that, it stood out to me. It was almost like it kicked me. It made me feel like your circumstances can be so raw, can be so slap in the face, can be so no filter, that perhaps, it's never going to happen. You're looking at an old man, and the woman is childless. Like, how is that possible? This Shunammite woman had these facts staring in her face, or as people like to say, reality staring in her face, yet she was still unmoved by the situation. So don't allow circumstances to eat at who you are. Don't allow it. Allow God to use the process to perfect you, to refine you. The process is there to do that. Don't allow it to destroy the works. Sometimes we can be undoing things that God is actually doing, trying to perfect characteristics in us, qualities in us that He sees fit to do, and yet we're unraveling it by complaining, by doubting, by lack of faith. The story of the Shunammite woman reminds me of the song Oceans by Hillsong, where it says, Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk across the waters, wherever you may call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Saviour. We've got to get to that place where our trust is without borders. There's no limitation to, or there's no area, certain area in our lives that we trust God more than other areas. We've got to truly have no borders in respect of our trust in God. And I hope you've been blessed by this message. I hope you share. Please do subscribe. Let's connect, and I'll see you next time. Bye.